Is being a stupid father and being a terrible father the same thing? I bring up this question because I watched a video the other day. I kind of stumbled upon it on YouTube. It is roughly 5 years old. I don't know the exact date. Somewhere around 2012. So 5 to 6 years old. It is a father or a older male figure skating with what appears to be about a 3-year-old boy, and he's on a half pipe or a quarter pipe, and he falls. And as he falls, he's holding his, what I presume is his child, kind of around his chest, and the two land on the child's head. They both land on the child's head. Yes, I know. And the kid's not wearing a helmet. Neither father nor son, or father, I'm gonna go ahead and call him father and son. They may or may not be father and son. But the older one and the younger one, neither one of them are wearing a helmet. And they wipe out. They hit hard on concrete. No helmets. I'm going to guess it's about 6 foot up off the half pipe or quarter pipe, and they come down and wipe out right at the bottom. And they hit hard. Right on the child's head. This is stupid. That was stupid. Why did you do that? Did that make him a terrible father? Yes. That was a stupid mistake that made you a terrible father. I read somewhere that the child actually ended up dying. I can't clock it. I don't know it for sure. I don't know if it's a true or false statement. But I read somewhere that the child was actually in a coma for about 4 days and ended up dying. Believable? Yes. They hit really hard. And a child's head is developing, and their skull isn't quite all the way formed yet. There's actually fissures in their skulls. What you call soft spots when they're born. Those don't actually close all the way until you're about 3 years old. So it is possible that that child's soft spots or fissures hadn't closed all the way. And this man just landed on this child's head on a half pipe or a quarter pipe. And yes, it very well could have killed that child. Now, in the end of the video, the child is crying, but that really doesn't mean anything. There have been people get hit in the head and die hours later from the actual head injury. You know, there's swelling, there's bleeding, there's certain things that you may not have happened at the time. I digress. No more about the head injury. Back to stupid fathers. Are they terrible fathers? You could be very dumb. You could be a stupid person, but have the biggest loving heart in the world. Now, this man on the quarter pipe or half pipe with his son, that's just stupid. You don't do that. Everybody knows you just don't do that. At least put a helmet on, man. Come on. Anyways, you could be stupid, but have a huge loving heart and do everything in goodwill, maybe, good manner, you know, attempting to try to doing it in a loving manner, but it's just not very smartly done, not very well presented, you know, pretty dumb. But if it's in a loving manner, does that make you a terrible father? I don't know. Kind of a question. But then on the flip side, you could be as smart as Einstein, as smart as this guy that just died not too long ago. What was his name? He's in the wheelchair. Can't think of his name right now. He had ALS. Anyways, you could be as smart as these two fellas and yet neglect your child and never see your child and never do anything for your child, never call your child. Would that make you a terrible father? Yes, but you're still the smartest person in the world. You know, what, how can you, you know, is there a point to which you become dumb enough or stupid enough that you become a terrible father? Or if it's all done in love, do you never become a terrible father? I don't know. Or you could just say a terrible parent. You know, I don't really want to include mothers because I'm not a mother, I'm a father. So I don't want to include mothers. But is there a point at which the intelligence just doesn't make up for the terribleness? Yeah, we'll say that. I don't know. I could kind of go back and forth on this either way. I grew up with a single mother. My father is smart. He is intelligent. I saw him once every 2 weeks, roughly. And that was really about it. I didn't hear from him very much either. It's about once every 2 weeks. So, was he there? No. He is very smart, though. So, there's the point. I have known parents who were, for lack of a better term, not very educated, not very smart, we'll say. Not really ignorant, but just unlearned. Unlearned, I like that one. And yet they were awesome parents because they were at everything. They always saw their children. They were, maybe overprotective, maybe underprotective, but yet they had their eyes on their children. They, may be unlearned, but they are awesome parents. They may do things that, other people would be like, that's just dumb. That's just dumb. Why are you doing that? But at the same time, they're kind of doing it out of love. Or they're doing it at the same time, they're also keeping an eye on their children to keep them safe. So, is there a point at which the stupidity outweighs the terrible? Don't know. I don't know. Because once it becomes a safety issue, I think that's when you become a terrible parent. Once you habitually do things to jeopardize the safety of your children, I think that's when it becomes an issue, a terrible parenting issue. But, if you are doing things unsafely with your children and you don't know they're unsafe, ignorance, can you blame ignorance? I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question. A good thinker. This fellow on the skateboard that I saw the other day, that was just dumb. There is very much research into head injuries, into helmets. I mean, helmets have come a long way just in the past, 30 years, 20, 30 years. Helmets have gotten better and better due to research because they want people to not land on their head. I feel like things that you do that you could land on your head, you should automatically have to have a helmet on for. And you should automatically know that if I'm going to do this thing with a child, I should have a helmet on that child. Maybe he would have skated with his child with a helmet. Things may be different. Maybe I would look at it in a different light. But he didn't. Now, would I skateboard with my child? No. Number one, I can't skateboard. Number two, I'm not going to do that with a child. It just appears completely unsafe. I have paddle surfed. I think that's the name of it. Paddle boarded, maybe? Paddleboard, paddle surf. It's basically a surfboard and like a canoe paddle. I have done that with my children on the board. The speed you get up to is roughly a mile an hour. 1 single mile an hour. Or 1.6 kilometers an hour. No, 1.2 kilometers an hour. I'm sorry. That's about it. That's about as fast as I could go. And that's not very fast. Would I do anything more dangerous than that with my children? I probably have. I just don't know of it right now. That's about it. I have ridden my oldest daughter on a dirt bike, but I know she had a helmet on. I guarantee you she had a helmet on. I feel adamant about helmets. But I think we only got up to maybe 10. Still would have hurt if she'd have fallen, but she had a helmet on. Was it stupid? She had fun. So, there's the point. The stupidity. She had a helmet on. She had safety gear on. Because she does actually have safety gear. Was it stupid? I don't know. Anyways, let me know. Is there a point in time when what you do makes you terrible? I don't know. Alright, that's my thought. I hope it helps. Thank you much.